Chapter 217, promoting to the Imperial level. These trialists also dared to fight to the death for the dragon blood fruit. Otherwise they would normally have fled far away when they saw Kangchon and the three of them. "Brother, be careful," Xiaojin sniffed without the slightest hesitation and directly handed the dragon blood fruit to Kangchon before detaching himself from the battlefield, knowing that he would only drag Kangchon down by staying here. "Dao brother, take care." Vanxin hesitated for a moment, but finally reluctantly handed that dragon blood fruit to Kangchon before rushing out with little gold. When the group of trialists who were besieging saw Kangchon holding the two dragon blood fruits in his hands, their eyes instantly turned red, and each one of them desperately rushed forward. As for Vanxin and Xiaojin, who handed over the dragon blood fruit, no one went after them again. These trialists were not fools. Vanxin and Xiaojin were not weak. Even if they killed Vanxin and Xiaojin, many people would still die. If it was for the dragon blood fruit, they were willing to fight for their lives. But now that Xiaojin and Vanxin no longer had the dragon blood fruit, why would they bother to go after them? Wouldn't that be idiotic? At this moment, everyone's attacks were pointed at Kangchon. One by one, the trialists went crazy. Who cared what kind of overlord you were? They would do anything for the dragon blood fruit. Of course, they weren't idiots and knew to unite against Kangchon. After all, Kangchon's strength was evident to all. You all remember this, but anyone who strikes today, I, Kangchon, will not spare anyone in the future. Resisting the attacks of the crowd, Kangchon yelled up to the sky. His entire body erupted with a matchless domineering aura, truly defeating 10,000 with one, fending off the attacks of more than 1,000 trialists. And even though he also spurted out a mouthful of blood, his entire body's aura did not weaken in the slightest. The trialists present were horrified. Some of the timid ones directly retreated and ran to fight for the third dragon blood fruit. There were others who were not afraid of death as they yelled, "Even if you are strong, so what? If you don't hand over the dragon blood fruit, you will definitely die today. Brothers, let's kill him together. As long as we capture the dragon blood fruit, we'll all be able to advance to the Imperial level, and we'll have that kind of strength by then. Kill." Some of the trialists went crazy, especially those powerhouses whose physical bodies had reached the king level. They only needed one dragon blood fruit to be promoted to the emperor level. And then even if they encountered Kangchon and the Fox Emperor, they would be fearless. Therefore, for the sake of the dragon blood fruit, they all went crazy, not caring at all about Kangchon's threat. Oh no, the battle state time is almost up. Looking at those crazy trialists, Kangchon's eyes narrowed as a sense of crisis rose in his heart. Originally, he had been fighting with the Fox Emperor for such a long time, and now there wasn't much time left before Kangchon Hegemony Blood's combat status disappeared. Once he couldn't maintain his combat state, his strength would simply not be able to withstand the combined attacks of so many people. Kangchon was suddenly in a crisis. Kill. Hand over the dragon blood fruit. Quickly hand over the dragon blood fruit. Kill. A single trialist killed, and they joined forces to blast towards Kangchon, a terrifying power sweeping through the entire space. Kangchon's face changed drastically as he looked at the dragon blood fruit in his hand, and a trace of madness flashed violently in his eyes. "I'll fight you guys. Either I die or you die today." Kangchon roared and swallowed a dragon blood fruit directly. Everyone couldn't help but stare at this scene. Then they attacked Kangchon even more frantically. They were afraid that Kangchon would eat the remaining dragon blood fruit as well. The entire space was in chaos. Boom, just like last time, as Kangchon took the dragon blood fruit. A torrent of scorching heat surged down his throat, like a hot magma, flowing through his body. Immediately, Kangchon felt that his entire physical body was filled with intense pain. Like a sharp blade was cutting into his body, and that drilling feeling of pain made him unable to stop himself from roaring. And at this time, the attacks of the thousands of trialists also descended and came. That one powerful force, like countless meteors came down, covering the entire space where Kang Tian was. Kang Tian had no way to dodge, and was instantly engulfed by those terrifying forces. Brother Dao, brother. Little Gold and Brahma Heart couldn't help but yell in worry when they saw this scene from afar. The attacks Kang Tian had suffered this time were too intense, and he was so disturbed by the intense pain from the dragon's blood fruit that he couldn't dodge out of the way, and could only take on the attacks of the thousands of trialists. It had to be said that this was a dangerous challenge. Seeking your own death, Humph. In the distance, a sinister smile appeared in the eyes of the Fox Emperor, and the 5 tortoises on the other side had the same cold smile, as they couldn't wait for Kang Tian to die miserably here. However, their goal was now the 3rd dragon blood fruit, so they were unable to intervene for the time being. At this moment, the Fox Emperor and the other group of trialists were continuing to fight fiercely for the 3rd dragon blood fruit, each one of them putting forth their full strength, but not daring to jump ahead of the others in the fight for the dragon blood fruit, who were afraid that they would be attacked by the crowd in a joint effort, like Kang Tian had been. The Fox Emperor had the guts and strength to do so when the time came, but unfortunately, as soon as she got close to the dragon blood fruit, she was immediately attacked by the crowd in a joint effort. So she was unable to get close to the dragon blood fruit since the beginning, and she was so angry that she gritted her teeth. Although the 5 tortoises had amazing defense, with the Fox Emperor present, they were equally unable to obtain the dragon blood fruit. As for the others, even if they had obtained the dragon blood fruit, they ended up dying miserably under the joint attacks of the crowd. None of them could fight one against 10,000, like Kang Tian. However, at this moment, Kang Tian also suffered a huge crisis. How powerful was the joint strike of thousands of trialists? Even an Emperor-level powerhouse couldn't defend against it. Kang Tian didn't resist for a moment at all, and was directly blasted into the scorching hot crater by that powerful force, and was engulfed by the crimson magma. Dead, a trialist said with some uncertainty as he looked at the magma spewing from the crater. The other trialists looked at each other in disbelief. All of them did not dare to respond, because the strength Kang Tian had shown was too strong, and no one could guarantee if this strike had really killed Kang Tian. Brother, Little Gold roared as he rushed towards the crater. Fearing for his safety, Brahma Shin also followed and rushed over, but honestly, he didn't think Kang Tian would be able to survive that strike either. At this moment, in the scorching hot crater, at the bottom of that boiling magma, a purple figure was wrapped in countless hot torrents, his entire body emitting a blazing light. Like a purple golden sun, it burned within the volcano. Although the combined strike of thousands of trialists was extremely powerful, Kang Tian still carried it over. He was currently undergoing a terrifying metamorphosis. To be precise, it was his fleshly body that was metamorphosing towards an Imperial-level flesh body. Originally, Kang Tian had taken 1 dragon blood fruit. If it was anyone else, he would have long since successfully promoted to the Imperial grade. But this bloodline of Kang Tian's hegemonic blood was too powerful, and 1 dragon blood fruit was simply not enough for Kang Tian to promote to the Imperial grade. It was this 2nd dragon blood fruit that allowed him to truly advance towards an Emperor-level flesh body. Although Kang Tian's body was filled with intense pain, he was able to sense that at this moment, his fleshly body was continuously strengthening. That kind of power had never been seen before, and this was definitely an Emperor-level fleshly body. Rumble. The hot magma boiled inside the volcano. The light erupting from Kang Tian's body became more and more fiery. This metamorphosis didn't last long. When Little Gold and Brahma Heart rushed to the crater, Kang Tian's metamorphosis was complete, An Imperial level aura rose up to the sky, and along with it, hot magma erupted out from the crater. This scene startled Little Gold and Brahma Heart so much that they couldn't help but stop their footsteps. The two of them looked at the direction of the crater in horror, and those trialists in the distance were also shocked. Boom! In the next moment, a blazing light rushed out from the crater like a meteor, cutting across the sky and leaving a beautiful arc trail. Amidst the shocked gazes of the crowd, a purple domineering figure then stepped in, his entire body exuding an incomparably powerful aura. It was a youth whose entire body was shrouded in purple light, and his eyes resembled to brilliant stars, shining with a blazing divine light. Brother, seeing this familiar figure, Little Gold was filled with excitement and thrill, while Van Xian on the side was dumbstruck and filled with a shocked expression. It was none other than Kang Chon, who had already digested the dragon blood fruit, and his flesh had truly reached the Imperial level. And under the state of Kang Chon's hegemonic blood, Kang Chon's power at this moment had reached an unknown level. Even if he hadn't reached the invincible level, he was still at the peak of the Imperial level. This power caused Kang Chon's eyes to be filled with confidence, right now that Fox Emperor was afraid that he wouldn't even be able to defeat him with a single punch. His power at this moment was too strong. Moreover, Kang Chon felt that with his current power, the defense of those 5 turtles was already useless and could be shattered with a single punch at any time. It's Kang Chon. He's still alive. It seems to be even stronger. Has he broken through to the Imperial level? One by one, the trialists couldn't help but cry out in shock at the sight of Kang Chon's figure. Everyone's face was filled with incredulity, and there was even a hint of fear in their eyes. Even the Fox Emperor and the 5 tortoises who were fighting over the dragon blood fruit in the distance were shocked. Want the dragon blood fruit? It's here. Looking at the shocked gazes of the crowd, Kang Chon coldly smiled, then raised the remaining dragon blood fruit in his hand towards the crowd. Then he just stood on top of a huge rock, arrogantly coldly looking at all the trialists. Overbearing aura, an unrivaled domineering aura, naturally erupted from Kang Chon's body. He had his hands behind his back. His eyes were as bright as the blazing sun in the sky. That undying radiance, dazzling. All the trialists were shocked, followed by anger. Kang Chon was so underestimating them. Kill, after all. He's only one person. Can he still withstand tens of thousands of us? Put up a fight. If he doesn't die today, we'll have to face the Overlord's pursuit tomorrow. For the dragon blood fruit, anything is worth it. A roar rang out, traveling amongst the crowd, and instantly, all the trialists were stirred up into a flame of anger, each one of them killing Kang Chon with red eyes. Everyone's went crazy, since they had already offended Kang Chon. What was the harm in offending him once more for the dragon blood fruit? Brother, be careful. From afar, Xiao Jin loudly warned. He had wanted to rush over to help Kang Chon, but was stopped by Kang Chon. Brahma's Heart's eyes were also looking at Kang Chon's figure dead on, the light in his eyes flickering, if he was expecting something. Kang Chon stood proudly on top of a huge boulder, his eyes glowing with a purple light, and his heavenly aura swept through the entire space. Although it was also an Imperial level flesh body, but by looking at the aura, one could tell that the Fox Emperor was far worse than Kang Chon. Facing the thousands of trialists rushing over, Kang Chon's figure greeted them with a cold smile before executing the Overlord fist and punching out. The attacks of the thousands of trialists descended as well, and a fierce charge erupted from both sides. Boom! A terrifying thunderclap exploded, and the entire heaven and earth were in turmoil, as a terrifying storm of power swept across the entire battlefield. Immediately after, a blinding purple light rose in midair. It was Kang Chon rushing out of the blockade of countless attacks. A fist voluminously coming out, shaking the entire sky, and the earth trembled. Everyone watched this scene, all of them dumbstruck, everyone's eyes filled with unbelief. 1 against 10,000. This was truly 1 against 10,000. The attacks of thousands of trialists were actually blown away by Kang Chon's single punch. How shocking was this?